So we are tracking new fallout from the Uvalde school shooting. Texas State Senator Roland Gutierrez told the San Antonio Express News that more than a dozen state troopers were among those who waited in the hallway at Robb Elementary School while the gunman attacked the classrooms. The Texas Department of Public Safety pushed back and argued that they were helping evacuate students, but authorities acknowledged that troopers did in fact enter and exit the hallway. So really what was going on? To help us break this down, I want to bring in the reporter who broke that story for the San Antonio Express News, Brian Chasnoff. Thank you so much for joining us, Brian, because, really quickly things got confusing. But all we know is that the gunman was able to be in that school for an hour and children were dead and dying, and perhaps would not have died if there was some sort of intervention earlier. So the Department of Public Safety spokesperson accused the senator of playing a game of telephone with a news organization during an investigation. Can you walk us through what happened and where things stand now?
Absolutely. So State Senator Roland Gutierrez has struggled to receive basic information about this mass shooting that happened on May 24th, some time ago, weeks ago at this point. He told the Express News that there were 13 state troopers in that hallway outside of the classrooms during the course of this hour-plus-long incident in which survivors remained inside of the classroom during the shooting. DPS who had pushed back against that in a tweet and called it absolutely false. And now I think the senator's frustration at this point is that a subsequent statement by DPS essentially confirmed what he told the Express News, what he told me, that there were, quote, more than a dozen DPS troopers in that hallway, entering and exiting the hallway throughout the course of that hour-plus-long incident, but they were there.
The Uvalde County District Attorney, Christina Mitchell-Bosby, requested that the city not release any records related to the Robb Elementary investigation, saying that it could take up to 6 months to investigate the shooting. I mean, I can understand that this is sensitive, but the purpose of the investigation is not sort of about finger pointing. It's about understanding what went wrong, what went right, and what we can do to make sure something like this doesn't happen again. What more can you tell us about the timeline and how transparent officials are being?
Well, I think we can say there's been a lack of transparency, and this is where the frustration is coming from by Senator Gutierrez and, frankly, members of the media who, such as myself, who have been down in Uvalde. Seeking information, seeking answers. As you know, there were press conferences held in the immediate aftermath of the shooting, and a lot of that information turned out to be inaccurate. And so now reporters and sitting state senators are left to try to piece together what happened. And the fact that we got this statement out of DPS yesterday confirming that more than a dozen troopers were moving in and out of the hallway during that period where the gunman was still in the classroom. It feels like that was something new that we hadn't gotten before.
Have you been hearing it all from parents? Are they expressing frustration?
Oh, absolutely. Parents, personally, I have not heard from parents, but just from media reports, absolutely. The great frustration. There's an overwhelming need to know exactly what happened. And there are multiple investigations going on at the moment to answer those questions, but those answers couldn't come any sooner.
Listen, you've been covering this from the very beginning. I'm curious about what has sort of struck you the most during your reporting.
Well, the most shocking moment for me throughout the course of my reporting was that press conference that DPS Director Stephen McCraw held on Friday, May 27th, I believe, where there was finally an acknowledgement that there were children still alive in that classroom during that hour-plus-long period in which officers were waiting to get into the classroom. Now, there's, to me, one of the most overwhelming questions is why. Yeah. We've been told the classroom was locked, that there was not a key to get into the room. But we do know that there was a significant law enforcement presence, to include these more than a dozen DPS troopers, to include a Border Patrol tactical unit that had arrived nearly 30 minutes before there was any breach of the door. So why did it take so long to get into that classroom? That's what Senator Gutierrez and reporters such as myself are every day trying to find the answers to.
Yeah, with every sort of new element that we find out about this incident, this terrible crime, the question why sort of follows along. Why was the door unlocked? Why was the door unlocked to the classroom? Why was he able to, you know, I could go on and on, but we've got to wrap up. Brian Chasnoff, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.